Welcome to the Facilitators Deep Dive Podcast, your podcast on your way to facilitation mastery. All right, so today we're diving deep into Kanban.
Kanban, yeah.
We're going to go way beyond just the buzzwords.
Right.
We're going to really try to nail down how to implement it and implement it effectively.
Exactly.
Our source material for today is articles on STATIK,
Okay.
which stands for Systems Thinking Approach to Introduce Kanban.
I like it.
So whether you're someone who's prepping for a brand new project, or you're exploring different ways that you can improve how your team does their workflow, or maybe you're just intrigued by Kanban.
All right.
This is the episode for you.
It's intriguing. You know, it's captured everyone's imagination these days, Kanban. It's almost like we're collectively yearning for a system that tames the chaos of modern work.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's precisely where this STATIK comes in.
Right.
It's a practical framework for introducing Kanban in a way that actually makes sense.
Okay.
So before we get ahead of ourselves and get lost in all these acronyms, let's rewind a little bit. And for someone who's totally new to this, what is Kanban at its core?
So imagine a living, breathing mat of your work where every single task is a piece on this board.
Right.
That's what Kanban is at its core.
Okay.
It's a visual system for managing work, optimizing your efficiency, and being able to adapt on the fly.
Okay. So it had its origins on the factory floor at Toyota.
That's right.
With the Toyota production system.
Exactly.
So how did this concept make its way from the factory floor into software development, marketing, even personal to-do lists?
Well, you know, I think it's a testament to the power of a good idea.
Okay.
The principles are universal. Visualize your work. Limit what you're juggling at once.
Okay.
And always be looking for ways to improve.
I got it. So STATIK is essentially our roadmap to bring this concept to life.
Exactly.
Before we dive into all the different steps of STATIK.
Yeah.
Can you give us a sneak peek at what that aha moment might be?
Yeah, you know, I think the biggest aha is when you realize that a successful Kanban implementation isn't about blindly following some recipe. It's about asking the right questions, you know, questions like, what are we actually trying to achieve? Where are the hidden sources of frustration in our current process? How can we design a system that truly serves everybody?
Gotcha. So thought-provoking questions.
Absolutely.
It sounds like STATIK encourages self-reflection and some very honest conversations.
It certainly does, and those conversations are key to unlocking the real potential.
Okay, I'm hooked.
All right.
Let's unpack the steps of STATIK one by one.
Let's do it.
So first up, fit for purpose. What's the deal with that?
So that is the foundation of everything, right? It's about getting crystal clear on what your team or your organization actually does.
Okay.
Who are you doing it for? And most importantly, WHY. What are those measures of success in your specific context?
So not just doing stuff, but doing the right stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, it's about understanding what truly matters to your customer and aligning your work accordingly. Right. You know, a lot of teams skip this step because it seems kind of obvious. You know, they rush into setting up their Kanban board without truly defining what success looks like.
So what happens when teams miss this crucial step?
Well, they might end up with a beautifully organized system that's churning out the wrong things.
Oh, okay.
Like imagine a software team that's focused on churning out features at lightning speed, but they're failing to meet user needs.
Okay.
You know, it's a recipe for disaster.
That makes total sense. Fit for purpose.
Exactly.
It's like our guiding light.
It's a compass. Guiding the journey.
Okay. Step 2, understanding dissatisfaction.
Yes.
Now, this sounds a bit negative.
You know, it's not about dwelling on the negative. It's about shining a light on what's not working.
Okay.
And it's crucial to explore both internal and external sources of dissatisfaction.
Right.
It's about uncovering those pain points that are quietly sabotaging your success.
So internal dissatisfaction might be like team members feeling overwhelmed, like they're drowning in to-dos.
Exactly.
Or maybe external dissatisfaction could be clients that are experiencing delays or receiving work that misses the mark.
Precisely. You know, it's like this, sometimes the most valuable insights are hidden beneath the surface, so we have to dig a little deeper to uncover them.
All right, so dissatisfaction isn't about assigning blame.
Right.
It's about gathering intel.
It is.
Okay, love it.
Yeah.
Step 3, analyzing demand. What's the focus here?
So we need to get a grip on the work that's flooding our system.
Yeah.
Where is it coming from?
Right.
What are the arrival patterns?
Right.
And what expectations are attached to it? It's kind of like mapping the terrain before embarking on a journey.
Yeah, so like visualizing a support team, trying to handle a constant barrage of requests.
Exactly.
They'd need to figure out, are these requests mainly for like internal improvements or urgent customer issues?
Exactly.
How often do they come in?
Yeah, is it a steady stream?
Yeah.
Or a tidal wave at certain times?
Right.
We need to understand the nature and rhythm of the incoming work.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, we're just flying blind.
Okay, so we've tackled fit for purpose, dissatisfaction, analyzing demand. Now we're at step 4, analyzing capability.
Right. So now we're turning our attention inwards.
Okay.
Can our team actually handle what's being thrown at us?
Right.
Do we have the right skills, the resources, the time to deliver? It's about matching our capacity to the demands that we've identified.
So this is where it gets real for a lot of listeners.
It does.
Because you're either constantly feeling swamped or your team's twiddling their thumbs. And historical data can be incredibly helpful here.
Absolutely. You know, looking back at past projects can reveal some patterns and provide a much clearer picture of what your team can realistically achieve.
Gotcha. Data to the rescue.
Data to the rescue.
Okay. We've analyzed the demand.
Yeah.
We've sized up our capabilities.
Right.
Now what? Step 5.
Step 5 is model the workflow.
Okay. What does this entail?
So it's time to get visual.
Right.
We map out the entire workflow on a Kanban board, making every step crystal clear and transparent. Think of it like a visual roadmap for how the work gets done.
Okay, so no more murky processes or tasks disappearing into the abyss.
Exactly.
Right. I'm starting to see how this visual aspect of Kanban really helps.
It does.
But how do we decide what to tackle first?
Okay, that's where step 6 comes in, identifying classes of service. And it's all about prioritization, but with a twist.
Ooh, okay. Tell me more.
So in Kanban, we prioritize based on the cost of delay. We ask ourselves, what are the consequences if this task gets delayed?
Cost of delay. This is a new one. Break it down for us.
Right. So imagine you're a hospital. Okay. An expedite task would be like a life-saving surgery. The cost of delay there is incredibly high.
Right. Yeah.
On the other hand, like repainting the parking lot lines, that might fall under the intangible class.
Yeah.
It can wait. It's not going to have a major consequence.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
So it's about understanding the urgency and impact of each task and prioritizing accordingly.
Exactly. And Kanban gives us a framework for making those decisions objectively.
All right. So we've got our workflow mapped out. We've got our priorities. Time to build the actual system, right? Step 7, design the Kanban system.
That's right. It's the culmination of all our previous work, right?
Okay.
We're taking all the insights we've gathered and translating them into a functional Kanban system. And one of the most crucial elements here is setting WIP limits, work in progress limits.
WIP limits. I'm all ears.
Okay, so think of them as traffic signals on our Kanban board, right?
Okay.
Controlling the flow of work, preventing bottlenecks, and ensuring a smooth ride.
So preventing too many cars from cramming into the intersection.
Exactly, yeah.
Love the analogy.
Yeah.
What else is critical in this design phase?
Clarity.
Okay.
You know, we need to establish some crystal clear policies for our workflow.
Yeah.
What does done actually mean for each task? Are there specific service level agreements that we need to adhere to?
Okay.
Every detail matters.
So we've got our board. We've got our WIP limits. Policies laid out. Are we done?
Almost.
Okay.
But there's one final and arguably most important step.
Okay, what's that?
Step 8, socialize and negotiate.
So this is where we bring everyone in.
This is it. We got to make sure our Kanban system works for all stakeholders, not just the team that's implementing it.
Absolutely.
So it's about gathering feedback, addressing concerns, making adjustments to ensure a seamless fit with the real world.
So it's not just about designing the perfect system in isolation. It's about making sure that it integrates smoothly into the reality of our work lives.
Exactly. And that often involves negotiation and collaboration.
This has been fantastic.
It's been fun.
We've got a lot more to talk about.
We do.
But folks, we're going to take a moment to let that sink in.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll be exploring even more real-world applications of Kanban and STATIK. Stay tuned.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. I'm still buzzing about that banking infrastructure example.
Yeah.
Who knew Kanban could wrangle servers and networks?
Yeah, it really speaks volumes,
Yeah.
about the adaptability of Kanban. While the tools might differ, the principles remain constant.
Yeah.
Visualize your work, limit what's in progress, and relentlessly pursue improvement.
Yeah, I think
It's a framework that can unlock potential in some unexpected places.
we've laid a solid foundation
Right.
with STATIK and how it guides Kanban implementation.
Yeah.
But I think our listeners are craving something a little bit more tangible.
Sure.
So what if we walked through a hypothetical scenario?
I love that idea.
Okay, let's bring this framework to life.
Right.
Okay, let's conjure up a marketing team
Okay.
that's constantly playing catch-up.
Right.
Their to-do list is overflowing, deadlines are whooshing past, team morale is plummeting.
I've been there.
Yeah, sounds familiar, right?
Oh, yeah.
Drowning in a sea of tasks.
Yeah.
How would STATIK come to the rescue?
Okay.
Where would they even begin?
Well, their journey would begin with step 1,
Okay.
fit for purpose.
Right.
They need to define the why behind their marketing efforts.
Oh.
Who are their target customers? What does success look like in their eyes? Are we talking brand awareness, lead generation, or something else entirely?
So it's about understanding those core objectives before getting caught up.
Before we get lost in the whirlwind of activity.
Okay, once they've nailed down their fit for purpose, then it's time to confront the elephant in the room.
Right.
Step 2, understanding dissatisfaction.
Exactly.
So maybe the team is feeling super overwhelmed by the sheer volume of requests.
Yeah. Or maybe there's a lack of clarity around priorities.
Okay.
Or maybe their creative process is riddled with bottlenecks.
Right.
Or the approval process feels like navigating a bureaucratic maze.
So this is where they put on their detective hats.
Yes.
And get to the root.
Get to the root of it.
Of those pain points.
Yes, but dissatisfaction can also lurk outside the team's bubble. So perhaps the sales team is frustrated with the quality of leads.
Right.
Or maybe the higher-ups aren't seeing the return on investment that they expected.
So it's about capturing...
It's about casting a wide net and
Yeah.
capturing those external perspectives.
Okay, so step 2 is about getting brutally honest
Absolutely.
about what's not working,
It is.
both internally and externally.
Exactly.
Right.
And once we've gathered all that intel, then it's time for step 3.
All right. Analyzing demand.
Analyzing demand.
What do we do here?
Okay, so now our marketing team needs to dissect the nature of the work that's flowing their way. Are they drowning in content creation, social media management, event planning?
Yeah.
Or a chaotic mix of everything? What's the frequency of these requests? Are deadlines tight or flexible?
So it's like creating a fingerprint
Exactly.
for the type of work that they handle.
Yes.
Understanding the nuances and patterns.
Exactly. Without this clear picture of incoming demands,
Right.
it's like setting sail without a map or a compass.
So they've confronted their dissatisfaction.
Yeah.
They've mapped out their demand.
Right.
What's next?
Step 4, analyzing capability.
Okay.
So now it's time for some introspection.
Right.
Can the team realistically handle the demands that are bombarding them?
Right.
Do they have the right skills and resources to deliver? Are their processes efficient and streamlined?
So this is where those self-reflection muscles really get a workout.
They do.
They might realize that they need some serious help with process optimization, maybe some new tools, or even additional team members.
Possibly, yeah. It's about honestly assessing whether their current setup is aligned with their aspirations.
So how can looking back help them move forward?
Think of it like studying past expeditions to prepare for a new adventure.
Yeah.
Right, so by examining data from previous projects, they can gain insights into their team's true capacity, typical turnaround times, and potential roadblocks that they might encounter.
Data-driven decision-making.
That's it.
Always a winning strategy.
I love it.
Okay, so they've analyzed their demand.
Yeah.
They've taken stock of their capability.
Right.
Now it's time to bring their workflow to life.
Yes.
Step 5, model the workflow.
Model the workflow, and this is where they translate their process into a visual representation on a Kanban board.
All right.
Okay, so each stage of their marketing process, from ideation to execution to measurement, gets its designated spot on the board.
So we might see columns for brainstorming content ideas, writing copy, designing visuals, getting approvals, publishing the content, and then analyzing its performance.
Exactly.
All laid out clearly on their Kanban board.
That's it. It's about creating that shared visual language for the team.
Right.
You know, fostering transparency and eliminating those "where are we" with this moment.
I love that. No more lost tasks or frantic email threads.
Exactly.
Trying to track things down.
No more.
But with all these tasks neatly laid out, how do they decide what to tackle first?
Okay, that's where step 6 comes in, identifying classes of service.
Okay.
All right, and it's about taking prioritization to the next level.
Right.
By considering the cost of delay.
Remind us again how cost of delay works.
All right, so imagine a scenario where our marketing team is launching a new product campaign.
Okay.
Okay, that's mission critical, right?
Right.
Any delay there would likely have a significant impact on sales and revenue. Okay, that's a classic expedite task.
Got it.
High cost of delay.
What would be an example of a task with a lower cost of delay?
Think about updating the company's Instagram bio.
Okay.
Sure, it needs to happen eventually.
Yeah.
But it's unlikely to cause any major disruption if it's pushed back a day or two. So that would fall under the intangible class.
Got it.
Lower cost of delay.
Okay, that clarifies it?
Yeah.
It's about understanding the urgency and impact of each task.
Yeah.
And then prioritizing accordingly.
Exactly. And Kanban provides that framework for making those decisions objectively and transparently.
All right, so we've got our workflow mapped out.
Yeah.
We've got our priorities sorted.
Right.
Now it's time to build the actual system.
It is.
Step 7, design the Kanban system.
Design the Kanban system, and this is where the rubber meets the road.
Right.
We're taking all the insights we've gathered and translating them into a functional Kanban system.
Okay.
And one of the most crucial elements here is setting WIP limits, work in progress limits.
WIP limits, those traffic signals on our Kanban board.
Exactly.
Remind us why they're so important.
So if you have too many cars trying to squeeze through an intersection at once, you get gridlock. Right.
Yeah.
Same principle applies to our Kanban board.
Okay.
That WIP limits help prevent those bottlenecks and ensure a smooth flow of work.
So it's about finding that optimal pace of work.
It is.
Preventing overwhelm and maximizing efficiency.
You got it. But WIP limits alone aren't enough.
Okay.
We also need to establish those crystal clear policies for our workflow. So what are the specific criteria for a task to be considered done? Are there any service level agreements that we need to adhere to?
Okay.
Every detail matters.
So we've got our board, we've got our WIP limits, we've got our policies all laid out.
Right.
Can we pop the champagne yet?
Almost, but there's one final and arguably most crucial step.
All right, what's that?
Step 8, socialize and negotiate.
So this is where we bring everyone on board.
This is it. We got to make sure that the Kanban system works for all stakeholders, not just the team that's implementing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's about gathering feedback, addressing concerns, and making adjustments to ensure a seamless fit with the real world.
So it's not just about designing the perfect system in isolation.
Right.
It's about making sure it actually integrates smoothly into the reality of their work lives.
Exactly. And that often involves a healthy dose of negotiation and collaboration.
This has been fantastic. We've walked through a hypothetical scenario.
It has.
And seen how STATIK can really guide a team towards Kanban success.
It can.
But you know what I think is really interesting?
What's that?
We've been laser focused on the practical how-to aspects of Kanban.
Yeah.
What about the underlying philosophy?
Oh, well, that's a great question.
What's the bigger picture?
Yeah.
It's clearly more than just a set of tools and techniques.
It is.
That's a brilliant question. And it's one that we will explore in more depth when we return for the final part of our Kanban deep dive.
I can't wait.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been knee-deep in the practical side of Kanban.
Yeah.
Exploring STATIK and even putting ourselves in the shoes of a marketing team that was struggling. But before we wrap things up, I want to touch on something.
Okay.
What's the heart of Kanban?
Right.
What's the driving philosophy?
Yeah.
It feels like a deeper message here.
You're spot on. You know, Kanban's more than just a productivity hack. It's really a mindset shift.
Okay.
A way of approaching not just work, but life with this spirit of continuous improvement.
Right.
It's about embracing change as an opportunity to learn and evolve.
Yeah.
Rather than fearing it as a disruption.
That resonates with me because we're bombarded with messages constantly about disruption.
Disruption.
And the need to adapt.
Right.
And it can feel overwhelming.
Absolutely.
Even paralyzing at times.
Yeah. And that's where Kanban, I think, really shines.
Okay.
It equips us with the framework to navigate those choppy waters.
Yeah.
It encourages us to break down these mammoth challenges into smaller, manageable steps.
Okay.
We visualize our work, we pinpoint bottlenecks, we experiment with different solutions.
Right.
It's about reclaiming our agency
Right.
in a world that can often feel chaotic.
It almost sounds like we're approaching work from a scientific standpoint.
It does, doesn't it?
Like forming hypotheses, testing them out, and using data to refine our approach.
You're catching on.
Okay.
It's about creating that feedback loop that allows us to constantly adapt and fine-tune.
So it extends beyond just the individual tasks.
It does.
It goes to team dynamics, communication styles.
Absolutely.
Even our overall satisfaction with work.
Kanban encourages transparency and open communication.
Okay.
It empowers individuals to take ownership of their work and contribute their ideas freely.
So it's not just about individual productivity.
Right.
It's about fostering a healthier, more collaborative work environment.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes Kanban so compelling,
Yeah.
It addresses those deeper human needs for autonomy, mastery, and purpose.
It's not just about efficiency.
It's not just about the widgets.
Yeah.
It's about crafting a work environment that's both productive and humane.
So Kanban really aligns with a lot of the trends that we're seeing in the workplace now.
It does.
This growing emphasis on employee well-being and purpose-driven work.
You're right on the mark.
Okay.
Yeah. Kanban can be a really powerful ally.
Yeah.
In achieving those goals, it helps teams work smarter, not harder.
Right.
And it fosters a sense of shared purpose and collective achievement.
And it's applicable to so many different fields.
It is. It really is.
Even though it came from manufacturing.
No, right.
It's very relevant to the modern knowledge work.
Absolutely. Whether you're wrestling with code or crafting marketing campaigns or even managing a classroom, these core principles of visualization, limiting work in progress, continuous improvement, they can be game changers.
This deep dive has been fantastic.
It has.
You've gone from the nitty-gritty of STATIK to the profound philosophical underpinnings of Kanban.
I feel like we've come full circle.
I did too.
Yep.
And I feel like I've gained a new perspective.
Yeah.
Not just on work, but how to approach challenges in general.
It's a powerful framework.
Absolutely.
And I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to explore Kanban further and to see how they can weave these principles into their own lives.
That's it.
It's not about reaching some mythical state of perfect workflow. It's really about embracing that journey of continuous improvement and discovering ways to make work more meaningful and enjoyable.
This has been a true pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us on this Kanban adventure.
The pleasure was all mine. Keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep that Kanban spirit alive.
Thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive. See you next time on the Facilitators Deep Dive Podcast, your podcast on your way to facilitation mastery. Until next time.
See you then.